very hard for you
a lot of overtime.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for you to have a lasting relationship with anyone because your expectations are to the point where you want perfectionism and nobody's perfect.
Yep.
So, how do you guys resolve conflict?
We argue.
We argue. Yeah, we argue sometimes. Not a lot, but when we do, like
early on, we did, and that was part of sitting down
and learning.
Because we got, like, we were so young.
Mm-hmm.
We had to learn each other into another stage of us becoming adults and
as
still growing into our own. You know, we were growing,
and that's the thing. We grew
it
together,
like
and we had to grow with each other. That's another thing. You can literally grow out of love as well in regular relationships and marriages. So if your partner is not growing with you or is not as ambitious as you, that can cause issues in your relationship too. Because if one person wants something and the other one doesn't really care, it's like it feels like you're doing it by yourself. You know. So yeah, that's. That
dream
conflict.
Big together. You can be, one person can't be.
But now, I think conflicts, if I find myself really, really angry, I'll go and take a walk or go to a lake and just sit there for a little while and just get my thoughts together before, because arguing, nobody's thoughts are really being put out there right. It's just jabs and your feelings become hurt, and then later you talk about it. I think one thing we need to work on as a couple is when we're really angry, don't talk about it right away. Wait so that you can gather your thoughts, so you're not just, because when I get angry, I get hot. I'm hot-headed. I'm a bull. I'm a Taurus. So as soon as I get angry, it could be the littlest thing. I'm mad. And I don't want to talk about it right now because I might say something that is not nice. And
I'm chill for a second
until I say something that's not nice, and then it's like,
and Capricorn,
and I'm like, you hurt my feelings. And then we back at square one, but then we come back and end up having a conversation about what happened, where we went wrong. But I want to be able to do that in the beginning of a conflict, and we're still working on that, and we've been together for 13 years. So don't sit here and act as if
doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, and if you have a man or a woman that everything is perfect, it's because, I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't care what nobody's saying, it's because somebody's faking it. Somebody's faking it. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship. They're trying their best to do everything you want them to do, and in the back of their mind, they're probably not happy.
Something's wrong, or there's some alternative agenda. At the end of the day, every relationship's going to have its trials and tribulations. You can't get rid of that. That's just life.
You pray about it together. Exactly. You talk about it together. You are people that are just made with flaws. And whether you accept them and love them, but despite those flaws, is what makes your marriage flourish and thrive. Before getting into a relationship, have you worked on your trust issues or any issues or hurt you've already had? I really believe, now that I'm older, and if you are older looking into getting into relationships and marriages, you need to make sure that you're going to therapy and you're unpacking your problems before you start a relationship. And then when you start your relationship, those unpacked problems can be talked about together in therapy. I really think that therapy, especially in Black communities, because we have so much going on in our lives, we got... I think at one point he thought that I just didn't trust him. No, I want a phone call when you get to work. I want, wherever you're going, I want to know that you're there safely, because I have a little bit of PTSD. I am scared that something's going to happen to him while he's out. So bad that one time I heard the phone and I heard somebody cursing in the background and ruffle and stuff. I didn't know if the police pulled him over and tried to do something to him or whatever, but it was somebody in the background, like, in general. So, like I was saying, you have to, like, I was to the point where I was calling his friend, like, I don't know what happened to him. Something must have happened to him. Maybe he got pulled over. Maybe the police tried to hurt him. Maybe he got in a scuffle with the police. I had his friend get up. Like, he did it on his own, though. I didn't have to make him, because his friend is a real one. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
And he got up and he went looking for him. And I was crying and shit. I was scared. And he be thinking, I tell you all the time that It's not about me not trusting you. I'm scared for you because you're a black man.
And you know, I get it. It just it's hard to
it annoys him, and I don't care.
It's just hard to keep up. You know? What you need, fellas, see what I'm saying? Just where you at? Like what was that? Boost?
Yeah, I need to know that you're okay, that you're safe, that I'd be so freaking nervous. I pray for the Lord to cover him while he's going to work, when he's at work, and on his way home from work. That's my prayer.
Getting hurt.
Yeah. And that's my prayer every day, but you could your finger could have been gone if I didn't pray.
Right?
If I didn't pray.
Sure?
He cut his finger really bad, and Nurse Tiffany had to help that out. How did you know you guys were the one for each other?
God.
Okay.
Yellow brick road. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't even know what I was saying. It was tired, and it came out, but it was real. It was real. It was really how I felt. But to tell her that when we 16, 17, like now looking back at it, like
yeah, he
wow,
told me that he loved me and that I was gonna be with him forever at 16. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds good. I mean, the feelings were mutual. Like I really, really, really wanted to be with him, and I was like, and we wasn't even. Let's get this out there. We wasn't.
And
even,
that conversation never came back up. Like that conversation was that conversation. We remembered it, you know, but we never talked about it like that.
And we were not sexual at 16. Mm-hmm. I was still a virgin. We was literally, he was courting me, taking me on dates. We had chaperones. His brother and my brother was chaperones to movie theaters and stuff like. You know, my parents wasn't having that.
Yeah,
and no boyfriends in the rooms or nothing like that. So I was a virgin, and I literally lost my virginity right before college, and friendship that I knew, and I was already attracted to him, and I feel like he really paid attention to my needs as a girl or a young girl, and even as a woman. So I just knew he was the one for me because he put me first. It
wasn't like we didn't jump straight into just trying to be together and then go through that stage of, you know,
we were like best friends, and we still are best friends. I don't really have anyone that out here that I go out with. We moved to Houston. I ended up getting a really great friend. Like she's like my sister now, and that's not something I expected because all I care about, to be honest with you, is this man right here, my kids, and my immediate family, and everybody, like our family. That's it. Our family. That's all I care about. If anything else comes out from that, any other friendships, great. But all my friendships are
family.
They're family now. They're not even friends.
That's just how hard we love. Man.
So that's my sister, and I mean that when I say that. That's my sister or my brother. What is his favorite and least favorite thing about your natural hair? What's your favorite thing about my natural hair?
It's hers.
It's mine.
The least I don't like the silly braids. I don't, you know, I know what it does and what it becomes, right? But those are the ones, you know, that bother me.
You don't like my silly braids, my Felicia braids?
Yeah, nah.
Bye, Felicia.
Nah, but
they're only in for like a day or two.
Yeah, you know.
What about bonnets?
Bonnet, I like the bonnet.
He likes the bonnet. He like taking the bonnet off. What is your favorite thing is that it's mine, and the least thing is the Sealy braids?
Yeah, I don't like the Sealy braids.
I like the Sealy braids. Okay, what's one quality you two admire about each other that you don't have?
That's a good one. She's more outgoing than me. See, I get there, you know, then the camera, then I jump up, you know, on certain things, but she'll just, let's do it, you know. And here we are skydiving or something, you know what I mean? So that's one thing that I would say I wish I had a little bit more.
I wish I was actually calmer like him, because I feel like my personality can be like a turn off at first from people. They have to get to know me because I'm so outgoing, because I'm so chill, and I can adapt in any situation. because of the way I grew up. Like, I was the only black girl, so I was like, I was always unapologetically black because I knew I was different from everybody else in my classroom.
Same here.
So that's just me. But now as an adult, because I see people are scary, they act like they don't like people with personality and stuff like that. I wish sometimes I could just be I can be more chill. And then once he feels the mood and he feels people out, more of his personality comes out. And I want to do that more because that's how I feel like he's a great person to evaluate people's character. And I think everybody's good. I think everybody's good people until they prove me wrong. And he's good at sitting back, evaluating the situation, and then be like, I don't know if I'm gonna fuck with you. Like, he's good at that. I wish I had that quality, because then my feelings wouldn't get hurt. I wouldn't even start entertaining people in general. You know what I'm saying? I just be like, everybody's good. Everybody's good. Everybody has good in them, and I still believe that.
Yes, that's true.
I still believe
that's
that.
True, but sometimes it's just not for you.
Not for me. You're right. Where did y'all meet and when did y'all start dating? We met at Martin Luther High School in New York, Queens, New York.
In the lunchroom.
In the lunchroom. He came looking for me.
We won't get into it.
He came looking for me, and I was spicy then. I was spicy then too.
Jared.
I was spicy then too, and we started dating. We was friends before my Sweet 16, but at my Sweet 16, he was my, what was that called?
I don't know.
He was my person for Sweet 16.
I was the guy.
He was my guy where we danced and stuff and all that. I don't remember the name. My escort. He was my escort. He was my escort. So
sounds crazy,
when we was dancing at my Sweet 16, you see, he was romantic since 16. So yeah, he asked me out when we was dancing at our Sweet 16. He was so sweet. He was so sweet. How did you know it was worth it to keep going after arguments and disagreements?
People.
We answered that already.
You gotta understand.
Arguments and disagreements happen, but how low are you going? How low are you going? Are you speaking your truth when you're arguing in disappointment? Because we can argue about stuff, but never have I ever, even when I'm really angry with him, even when we had our ups and downs, I've never said I wanted a divorce.
Yeah, like,
certain things you say.
What are you saying?
You say things
what are you
when you're mad.
Do in these arguments? If you're going into this argument with the sole intent to hurt or cause some kind of feeling, then you have to be prepared to get a response to what that feeling is going to be. So all those arguments and disagreements are now going to turn into malice.
They used to argue too, but not as real bad or whatever the case may be. And my dad had a talk with me about my feistiness, and it spoke to him a lot, because him and my dad actually have a really, 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 really great relationship. So he would tell on me. I was like, you call my father?
Gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, but
that was the last question, and I hope that you guys got some insight. But yes, our key to our relationship is God. We put God first in our family. We put our family and our God first, always first. It doesn't, even with other family, we have to always see what's best for our family first before we dive into anything else, because this is us, and that's it. Like, so we have God, communication, trust. What else? and just having fun with each other, having a friendship, having a real friendship. This Q&A. If you guys have any other questions, you can put them down below. That's just us. This is the Walkers. This is the Walkers, and it is our 13th year wedding anniversary.
13 years.
Spicy.
I wasn't gonna say that. You know, I don't like this sticky stuff.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe, because I'm giving you hair inspiration, hair how-to videos on how to do your hair. We are doing kids' hairs, and we have vlogs, and we have family.
A plethora.
Wouldn't be a video if I didn't say that, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Do it together. One, two, three.